Good evening and welcome to the regular governing board meeting for Deer Valley Unified School District on Tuesday, November 29th, 2022.
Wow. It was a long meeting.
Long meeting. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:37 p.m. Please let the roll call reflect that all board members are present. If you are able to stand, please do so and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and moment of silence. I would like to thank everybody for their patience. We were in an executive session prior to this meeting. I would also like to let our online viewers know that we are having some technical difficulties so that the one slide presentation that we have tonight will not be available on the live stream. So you'll have to actually go to Board Docs to view that slideshow if you'd like to see it, or that, I shouldn't say slide, our presentation. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
I second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Hearing none, the motion passes unanimously. We do not have any public members that wish to speak this evening, so we will go to our preview item for the proposed 2023-2028 strategic plan. Dr. Tunis.
Thank you. Good evening, President O'Brien, Dr. Finch, members of the board. I'm pleased to present a preview of the 2023-2028 strategic plan with a review of the process that we have been going through since last spring. Our vision, as we know, to graduate lifelong learners who will successfully compete, lead, and positively impact the world is how we based our work in this process. This is a copy of our current strategic plan, which lasts through the end of 2023. And we began our process, I'm just going to review quickly, last spring. You have seen this before, where we started by assessing the current plan. We looked at the data for 5 years of our current plan. We gathered input by sending out surveys to all of our stakeholders, and then we formed a work team, and we also provided the governing board with updates and a report. So our work team, they gathered together and they looked at the data from both the reports, the quantitative and qualitative data, and the survey data. And you can see here that all of the work team members pretty much agreed that the data told us that we should continue to keep our vision, mission, and core values. And then we looked at the data for our key strategic priority areas, where the data indicated the same for priority areas 1, 2, and 3. However, you can see from priority area 4 that there was some question about whether or not we should change it or keep it. So based on that, our work team came together and we looked at the qualitative data. And so we combed through the qualitative data, we analyzed it for themes, and we came up with focus group questions so we could ask our public and our stakeholders what they felt about the content within each of the strategic priority areas, as well as whether or not we should keep priority area 4 the same or change it or adopt it. So we had a focus group guide, which leads us to the fall of 2022. And this is when we began our process of our focus groups and a continuous process of analysis, looping out, editing, revising, looping out, editing, revising, looping out, and sharing updates. So I will show you that in more detail. We had multiple opportunities for stakeholders to participate in focus groups. It went out, we had a communication plan with our communications department, went out through multiple avenues. We had in total 20 focus groups. You can see them here on the slide. They were out throughout the district as well as on Zoom. And they were available for students, certified, classified staff, exempt employees, also our parents, our interfaith, our parent presidents, and any community members who wanted to attend. Here are some statistics on the number of employees and stakeholders who participated from each group. You can see we had almost 300 participants in our focus groups. And then following the focus groups, I listed here all of the loop out opportunities that we had. So after we did the focus groups, came back, looked at the feedback, and we continued to look at each strategic priority area as we created targeted action items and accountability measures. And then we continued to share out those measures with these groups that you can see here. I added the governing board updates today. So we had several of those, but I don't have the dates in there. They were about every Friday. Here are some examples of the feedback that we received. The feedback was mostly in person, although we did send it out to every participant who participated in a focus group and gave them the opportunity to apply online as well. Here's some feedback from executive cabinet. Here's some feedback from our work team. This is feedback from some of our pre-K-12 group members. This is feedback from our focus group parents and community members. Here's some additional feedback. Multiple formats. Here's some written feedback that we took from our stakeholders and on our portrait of a graduate as well. I'll just let you read this one particular piece of feedback. We did ask along the way multiple times about the process, and we did receive feedback that they felt as if they had an opportunity and a voice and multiple touch points to provide input, not just the first time, but as we shared it out and continued to revise the plan. So here's some of the products that it looked like. We had a few different drafts of our portrait of a graduate. The beginning is where we started, where we analyzed the themes from our students and from our parents and from our focus groups. Our first draft is there on the left. It was a pencil. The titles changed from the first to the second draft, as well as the body in between. Then we went through several other drafts. I'll show you the final draft in a minute. The same was true of our strategic plan, started in a circle, went through a variety of drafts based on feedback from our groups. And then this is our final strategic plan. This is the poster that would be, if it's approved, would be throughout our district. And then this is the final portrait of a graduate. We also have a comprehensive strategic plan, which list I'll show you here. In the table of contents, I just showed you to give you an idea of what is involved in this book. We start with a letter from Dr. Finch, a snapshot that you just saw of the strategic plan and the portrait of a graduate, as well as our accountability measures. And then each of the key strategic priority areas has priority objectives, targeted actions, goals for our priority objectives, and accountability measures. So you'll see the same format for all four of our key strategic priority areas. Here's an example of our accountability measures, how we will look at internal oversight as well as external oversight from a big lens. And then here's an example of strategic priority area 1. You can see the priority objectives on the upper left-hand corner. Right below them are the goals, which will be indented, and then the targeted actions, and then the accountability measures for this particular area of multi-tiered systems of support. So it follows the same format for each key strategic priority objective. Here is strategic priority area number 2. Strategic priority area number 3. This is just a snapshot, not all 22 pages. And number 4. And then finally, we asked our participants who helped us to form our plan just to give us feedback on the process. We just sent this out yesterday afternoon because it was just completed, the pretty version of it yesterday afternoon. So we asked them if they felt valued during the strategic plan process, if they were given the opportunity to provide additional feedback after they attended a focus group, if they felt like their voice was heard, and if they felt that their perspectives influenced the strategic plan. And here are some of the comments from the group. I'll give you a minute to read those. I'd like to thank our strategic plan steering committee and really all of the 300 people you saw who participated in the focus group. There were several people beyond that who helped to provide feedback to us during this process. And at this time, if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
Dr. Tunis, the feedback that you're getting on the process, since you just sent that out yesterday, how long will that be open for them to reply to?
I was going to keep it open through the end of this week.
Okay, excellent. And if the responses are kind of low, might you keep it open a little longer and encourage them to respond?
Absolutely.
Okay. Wonderful. Any other questions, board members? Mrs. Paperman?
Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So the focus group is 20 total groups that you had in order to create a strategic plan. And did it also include the parent association? I see DV. Was the parent association included too?
Yes, President O'Brien, Ms. Paperman. Yes, we actually attended 2 meetings for our parent presidents. And so there was a representative from almost every school at those meetings, in addition to any parents who chose to attend the focus groups.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mrs. Fisher?
So what you're currently surveying, that's just the process, not the product?
Mrs. O'Brien, Ms. Fisher, yes, the final survey was on the process. However, we sent out the product to everyone who participated in a focus group or any of those 300 participants and asked for feedback on the product.
We sent it out to our parents, like from the schools, like we blast out stuff?
We sent it out to people who were involved in the process.
Right, but we educate students that are also not involved in the process. We have a lot more kids, a lot more families that are not just the little group. Did we send it out overall throughout the district?
Dr. Finch has an answer for you.
You're probably going to beat me to it, but yeah, we won't send it out to the public until you have seen it. So that's why you're first. But the people that have participated in the production of it, they were the ones that just saw. That's what she was referring to. Yeah, we wouldn't send out to the parents until the board sees it first.
Because I just would really I'd like to have that public feedback. Because when I read through it, especially when I think about what our prior portrait of a graduate was like, and then I look at this one, and I know there's so much work that you've done, but when I look through this, it's just taking Deer Valley in a totally different direction than it has ever been. And if that's the direction the community wants, that's great. But I think that they should have that opportunity to bring that feedback to us before we actively move, because strategic plans work. When you have a good one, they work. When you follow them, they work. And the direction of this one is 100% different than anything I've ever seen in Deer Valley.
Have you read it yet?
What I saw that was here, the picture of the
'Cause
graduate.
it's
and
very
what I
similar
read.
to the one we just finished.
There are parts, but I see a lot of the direction that I saw Phoenix Union going 10 years ago. And so it's very different, and I just think that the community, we are on target to be the most liberal district in the state of Arizona on this path, and that's just what I see. But the parents, that may be what our community is embracing.
So I
I don't understand where the liberal parts are. You could maybe send that to me in an email or something so we could check it out.
Mrs. O'Brien, can I ask a question?
yes, Mrs. Ordway.
Dr. Tunis, when you said you were going to send it to us or to the board prior to sending it out for the stakeholder or public feedback, could you explain what that means?
President O'Brien, Ms. Ordway, in the process, as I understand it, we've been working with the work team and focus groups, executive cabinet, our principals, certified, classified, exempt staff on building the strategic plan. And so it has been looped out several times to the people who have been involved in that, which are several hundred people. And so then the next stage is to review with you all, like we are doing tonight. We come back in 2 weeks for it to be approved. And once it's approved, of course, we would share it. I mean, if there's another direction, I'd be happy to listen to that.
Thank you, Dr. Tunis. And Mrs. Reed.
Just to clarify, this wasn't a tiny selected group of people that made up a small group. I received push-out notifications multiple times from both of my children's schools, text, emails, the parent pages from all of the schools. It was pushed out multiple times. So this wasn't we just like you and we like you and we like you and we just want your input. It was put out to everybody. So everybody had an equal participation. There wasn't an application to join. Everybody had equal access to this information and had the right to provide input and to steer how this went.
And the good news is, because this presentation is part of board docs, this is a publicly accessible presentation. All the materials are accessible to our community members and parents and students alike, and by going to boarddocs.com. Actually, you can just go to dvusd.org and go to the governing board page, where there is a link to board docs that will take you to our public site, and you can go to this meeting and see the strategic plan preview. There, I believe there is. Dr. Tunis, is the entire plan also accessible at this spot?
President O'Brien, yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. So I would encourage everybody to go out there, and maybe what we could do is push out a communication, Dr. Finch, that it is available, and have a link right there in the letter to the community. That would be wonderful. I think that you did great work. I would like to commend you for separating the number of parents we had involved versus the number of parents who are also employees. So thank you for making that distinction in the number, in the breakdown of who we had involved in our preview, or our groups, our work groups, and our participants. And are there any other questions or discussions? Mrs. Ordway.
I just have one more observation. I really appreciate the fact that we're continuing, because we continuously improve, correct, Dr. Tunis? we include more and more students from all over the place, because we know that students are our product, and we want to make sure that we're doing what we need to do. So if there's students in the audience, we're waving to you and saying thank you for being here. Anyway, that's my third comment.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. And we'll make sure to get it out for us tomorrow, right?
Are we supposed to say happy birthday to your fiance?
All right. We will move on to the consent agenda.
How about we do old business first?
Oh, sorry, I skipped ahead. How about we do? Oh,
Yeah.
no, this was supposed to, Dr. Finch, get pulled. My bad. So I'm going to make a motion to move this to the December 13th agenda. This was the one, Dr. Finch, for language from Denise.
Ooh, okay. So you would like to?
I'm motioning to move it to the December 13th agenda.
That would be 4A.
4A, yes.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and second to move item 4A, approve governing board policy JLCB immunization of students to December 13th. I had requested we receive some language from Denise to put in the actual policy regarding options. I'm sorry, I didn't see that. I apologize. I thought it was the other thing you sent to me. I'm going to.
You can punt it if you are not ready. But yeah, it was sent to us.
I apologize. I missed that today.
All
I'll go back. If you could just bear with me 1 second.
right, so we'll put that on hold.
I'm going to withdraw my motion and go to, can you withdraw your second? Dr. McCusker? Sorry. Thank
Okay,
you.
so can I go?
You can make a motion.
I would make the motion that the governing board, as I turned it over, here we go. That the governing board approve policy JLCB as recommended.
Thank you.
Need a second?
I need a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. I have a motion, a second. Dr. McCusker?
Hello and good evening, President O'Brien, governing board members. Today we are again reviewing policy JLCB. I know there have been previous questions.
Thank you.
Denise Lilbritt, attorney for the district, has reviewed and has added some revisions to the current policy. So you should have those indicated. As well, just for prior questions that have been asked, the regulations do address any of the references now and directly guide to the regulations for more guidance.
Perfect. Thank you, Dr. McCusker. I apologize. Sheila? All right. Any questions? Mrs. Fisher? Nope. Mrs. Paperman? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, please say nay.
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 Motion passes 3-2.
All right, are we ready?
No. Nope. Are they not populating?
I'm still having a problem getting into board docs. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I would ask that the governing board approve consent agenda items 5A through 5L.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay.
Nay. The reason I'm giving nay is because I feel the governing board, we need to have discussions on these policies because the community members, they do have concerns or questions. So before passing anything, I think we need to get together and have the discussion before passing any policies.
So, Mrs. Paperman, I thank you for your explanation of votes. Do you know that you have the ability to request something be pulled from a consent agenda so you can have a discussion? You did not do that tonight, correct?
That's fine, yeah.
Okay.
And I also am voting nay, same reason, in addition to submitting for changes it doesn't even become a discussion. It becomes a Friday update blurb that is not necessarily accurate, and then it's pushed into consent without conversation. And so it's concerning that this is the way policies are being pushed through at this time. And so that's why I'm voting no as well.
And thank you once again. Any board member can ask for an item to be pulled from the consent agenda during the motion to adopt the agenda, and none were received this evening. Motion passes 3-2.
Let us move to 6A. I would ask that the governing board approve all employees' professional development out of state per governing board policy GCCE.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please, or any questions or discussion? No. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Motion passes unanimously.
I would ask that the governing board accept the administration's recommendation to pre-approve the addenda as presented.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve addenda pre-approvals. Any questions or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
I would ask that the governing board accept the administration's recommendation to approve the job order contract with Skyline Builders and Restoration Incorporation for the addition of one restroom each at Constitution and Village Meadows Elementary School using one GPA's cooperative contract number 22-77, 1C11-16 revised.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Miglerino?
President O'Brien, members of the board, Dr. Finch, just wanted to comment that thanks to the folks in our early childhood program and for some of their grant writing expertise, this is one of many projects that we're working on behalf of our Head Start community and early childhood programs to be able to add additional programs at these two campuses. In addition to these projects, we are also working on some additional projects at other schools to be able to expand programs offerings. So I guess maybe that's a forewarning that you might see some more of these. This will give us the opportunity to begin some of this work potentially as early as over winter break, pending the outcome of the. I'd be happy to answer any questions. It is being funded from the grant that we were successfully awarded that our early childhood folks did write.
Any questions? Mrs. Fisher?
No questions, but kudos to them for getting that grant.
All right. I would also say congratulations to those folks for the grant writing skills and getting a successful award. Thank you very much. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Motion passes unanimously, I believe. Next.
Yes? Are we done? Okay. I would ask that the governing board accept the administration's recommendation to consider and if deemed advisable to adopt a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of school improvement bonds of the district.
I second.
Mr. Miglerino. Oh, Mrs. No, it says Mr. Miglerino. It does say Jim, but should I be going to?
I think we were going to draw straws, but
Oh, that means you drew the short one?
actually, if you want the right answer, you would probably ask Ms. Mock. Just very quickly, this is, I don't want to say this is routine, but we are regular issuers of bonds. This is a result of the 2019 bond election. We have looked at our cash flow for the projects that we have and believe that it's necessary for us to do a bond sale and to continue the pledged projects that were in the pamphlet. So this is for $55 million in bond sales. One of the reasons for that specific amount is there is about a 12% savings in the cost of issuance to be able to do a bond sale greater than $50 million. So we're taking advantage of that. We were considering a bond sale in the neighborhood of $45 million. We can save about a little over $30,000 by doing $55 million. We have looked at the impact it would have on our projected tax rate. It's negligible. It doesn't even raise a penny to the tax rate for the additional $10 million. And this means that we'll probably end up with this sale and one additional sale to finish off the 2019 bond initiatives. And we'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions, board members?
I have a comment
Mrs. Ordway?
real quick. Thank you, Ms. Mock and Mr. Miglerino.
All right, hearing no other questions or discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Motion passes 4-1. Yep. Governing board reports. Mrs. Paperman.
First, I would like to congratulate the new board members that were elected by the community. I look forward to working with each board member and working together, collaborating, also collaborating with the district, the association, the parent association, and community members. Also looking forward to build that relationship for the future where we'll get to know each other even as person, and even if we disagree or not agree with each other, that there will be mutual respect. Thank you.
Mrs. Fisher.
I agree with Ms. Paperman that, is that fine? Never tell what this is. That every change in the board, no matter who is elected, is an opportunity for potential collaboration and actually working together and doing things based on what our community has asked us to do as elected board members. And so I congratulate them both as well. It would be, well, we'll see where we go. It's going to be interesting. It's a change, a definite change. I also want to congratulate Tom Horn for winning the superintendent of public instruction. I am looking forward to the focus being more towards academic achievement and hearing a lot of his plans. I am looking forward to those as well. I do have, I'm assuming other board members have as well, continued to receive concerns about the standards-based grading. When there's a direct concern, I have been sending it back through the channels like I do. You know, have you talked to the teachers? Have you talked to the principal? Have you talked to on the way up? But I'm confused on even how to direct some of these parents. I have one that had sent me about a assignment that her daughter was given just recently, but she has until the 8th. Oh no, she has to do 8 hours of service, and then she has until like next week to get it done, the report done and whatnot. And it's worth, she can't pass her class without it, that type of stuff. And I don't know, since on one hand, we're not grading anything, we're just, doing what we believe are the standards. There's not a specific direct, but this one assignment that she sent says it's 100 points and it's mandatory. So I'm not sure what direction to send this parent. Do I send them to Gail? Do I send them through the process? I can hear and read the frustration in their voice. So if you want to give direction on that in an email or something, that'd be great. The other thing that I received that was, to me, very concerning was from teacher had forwarded an email from their principal, and it talked about the semester grades and doing what they believed was in best interest of whether they were meeting, because I guess not necessarily what the system says, because they understand the problems in the system. I see how they can interpret it, the email that way. You could interpret it other ways. But I think our messaging needs to be clearer because our teachers are notably, I don't want to say they're confused because they're not confused. Our teachers are very bright. They're very frustrated. They want to meet the expectations. They want to do good. They want to do what we need them to do. And they feel like the weight of this program or direction is on their shoulders. And some of them send me emails about how they feel. And I don't know why they don't send it to everybody. I understand when they say the retaliation. At this point, 2 of the board members only have a couple meetings left. Send them your concerns. Let them hear it from you direct. Send it to the 2 new board members so that we can all be on the same page. But we have to get some sort of resolution because we get these presentations and a direction that we're going, no matter what anybody says, we're just doing it. And then we have teachers who are either expressing that they feel broken or that, I'm going to leave the profession. I'm just going to leave Deer Valley. I came here to get away. These are all comments that I don't have a horse in this race. I'm not a teacher. I'm not using my teaching cert. Right now, I'm a CFO. But I care about my teachers, and I don't want them broke, and I don't want them leaving. We already have a shortage, so I don't know how we can get some sort of connection together on this, but I do think we need to, because I continue to get concerns from both parents and our teachers. I know there was one other person that had sent me something. I'm trying to look at my email to figure out which one it was. Other concerns, but I'll send those on in a private side because I don't want to just stick with those. Beyond that, I want to also share that I have heard some very wonderful celebrations from Thanksgiving from family members, saying how much their school supported them or how much they felt cared about in the season. To me, it wasn't any big production that anybody did. It was individuals at schools and how these children felt the happiness and the love of the season. And that to me was just amazing. I do hope everybody else had an amazing Thanksgiving. I know my family did because I didn't have to cook. My daughter hosted this year. But I hope everybody found something really good in the season because no matter how many problems we have, sometimes in this position, all I see is the problems because I'm the one that's going to speak up about them. Let's face it. If a problem comes to me, I'm going to bring it here. And I think that's why they send them to me. But I'm happy some of them are starting to send me the kudos as well because I'm feeling a little broken only getting the complaints. And it is good to hear that there are things to be thankful for everywhere, but especially in Deer Valley. And I think that was it. Thank you.
Mrs. Reed?
I hope everybody had a very happy Thanksgiving and enjoyed their Thanksgiving break and able to refresh. And all of our teachers are geared up for the last couple of weeks of school before we head off for winter break. I know my kids are gearing up for finals and all of their final big projects and whatnot over the next couple of weeks. So it'll be a busy time in our house. But I did get to go to some of the Thanksgiving meals and celebrations. So just thank you to our food services and all of our cafeteria managers and volunteers and workers who put that on, and volunteers at the school. I know it's a big production to do that every year, but all of the students and parents were super happy to have that back again and to be a part of that. So thank you for doing that. Congratulations to our bands that performed, and Mountain Ridge won state. O'Connor came in 4th. Barry Goldwater came in 6th. Is that correct?
I thought they were third as
Or
well,
third?
just a different
Third?
division.
3rd in their division.
Yeah, I think O'Connor was
yes.
third as well.
Yeah. So just congratulations to our band for performing so well. And it was nice that it was on this side of town this year. So I think he was excited about that. No long rides home afterwards. And congratulations to O'Connor football for, I think what I read was they scored the most points against Liberty that any other team had scored all season. So that was amazing. So congratulations, O'Connor football. I know that there's probably already plans in the works to do that next year as well and get better. So congratulations to you. Just a big shout out to Deer Valley Education Foundation, who helped supply, I'm sure Mrs. O'Brien will mention how many families it was, but triple the number of families, Thanksgiving meals and food for families to eat, just regular, cereal, pasta, lunch, dinner, and breakfast foods for our students. When we were on Thanksgiving break last week, I know there were a lot of business partners also who stepped up and helped provide food for that. And then Deer Valley Education Foundation is having a fundraiser tomorrow night, so a bingo event, just to help with some of the different ways that they give back throughout the year. And then just a reminder for our Angel Tree, just want to say thank you. We had 75 students adopted so far, which is great. So thank you to those community members who have donated that way. And I know that we got some donations for Deer Valley Education Foundation today on Giving Tuesday. So all of that money goes back to help provide Christmas presents for other schools and other students. And we're still accepting present requests from families in need. So we're waiting on 3 schools to send those to us. So there will be plenty of opportunity to help out if that's how you feel led to do that. So all of the information can be found on Deer Valley Education Foundation's website on how to help. So thank you.
Mrs. Ordway.
I'd like to start off by, I should have said this during our moment of silence, but I'd like to remember Colleen Weeks. Her passing was sad for many of our school communities. Congratulations again to the bands and all the fall athletes. I think we're done with the fall sports. So here comes the winter sports. Deer Valley Education Foundation allowed us to distribute $6,600 in gift cards for 137 families in our school district. I've been talking for the last couple of meetings and with different campus leaders, and I'm happy to say that we have campuses running food drives for either their own schools to fill those pantries or for sister schools in the district. So my hope is that in the next 2 or 3 weeks, we can devise a plan to make sure that families will have food for the 2 weeks of the winter break. And there's a lot of fundraisers going on right now, and most of them are for the choirs and the choruses and that sort of thing. So I guess if you're hungry, go look online at one of the campuses, and you'll be able to eat your treat and make a couple of choirs. I don't know what they're looking for, but they'll be well. They will be very thankful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you to all the people that Mrs. Reed and Mrs. Ordway thanked. Thank you, and thank you. I do also hope everybody had a restful and relaxing and blessed Thanksgiving. Congratulations to all the bands again. Excited for winter sports. Congratulations to our 2 new elected governing board members. It's exciting for them and for the district. And we look forward to our future meetings are posted. Oh, I guess I should let Dr. Finch. I'm going to let Dr. Finch have a report.
I have a couple things, just kind of fill in the blanks. We did Boulder Creek, Mountain Ridge, and O'Connor all made the 6A playoffs, but the Open, it was the first time in the history of Deer Valley that we actually made the Open division, and that was O'Connor, so they're at 8th and had to play the 1. And as Miss Reed said, did a really nice job and represented well, and looking forward to next year. It's nice to see all our programs heading forward. The tomorrow night, I believe, is the Foundations Bingo Night at the Arrowhead Country Club at 6 o'clock, and I will be calling numbers. So, Gary, get ready. B7. Mark it down. That's a winner. A little trivia, too, about Mountain Ridge High School with the band competition. They actually had an undefeated season. They never lost. They were 10-0 and won the 2 the pre-state title and then the final Abota state title, beating our arch nemesis, who has won 10 titles. Now they're chasing us, but that's Desert Vista. So it's nice to congratulations to the band, and we'll be handing them certificates probably in the new year as we celebrate that. And oh yeah, right, not gonna happen. One of my employees actually has a drummer in the band, and want to make sure that I recognize that. That was a text. Go back and watch the video. The I believe it's the snare. It's the one you want to watch. Yeah. I just want to thank again to, I don't know if you remember from the last time together, 92% of our schools received an A or a B this year, and with 25 A schools. Pretty impressive. Again, everybody's chasing Deer Valley. It's fun to be in the front. The only problem is they get closer and closer, so we have to keep reaching further and further to stay out in front. I just want to also thank all the teams and the parents and the staff. Worked on the strategic plan that really has been going for a year now, and all that feedback loops I thought were pretty effective. And so we're looking for one more feedback, as Ms. O'Brien mentioned. It's in the board docs, and you can click on it and check it out. Give us your feedback, appreciate it. We have 2 weeks to work on that. And 2 more things. We had the TSMC, our first plane load of TSMC students arrived last week, and they've been integrated well, doing well, thanks to Monica and her team, and the principals that obviously where these students end up landing. We want to thank them for adjusting to our new students, and there are about 300 that are coming, and so they'll be coming in every 2 weeks over this next couple of months. And again, this is just phase 1. So looking forward to working with TSMC and all their feeder companies that'll be sending more students. We also will have a reception for our outgoing board members at our next board meeting on the 13th. So I don't know if they take chocolate or flowers or condolences, but you're welcome to do that. And then we'll be welcoming our new ones coming in January. And I just want to wish our 4,000 staff members and our 34,000 students great break here coming up, press to the finish line, and finish up well for the second semester. Thanks.
Mrs. Ordway?
I was waiting for you to say something.
Oh, then future meetings are posted. I would entertain a motion
So moved.
at 8:26 p.m. Motion and second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Anybody that says nay can stay.